think there's a really interesting story here about the massive shift in the landscape of media consumption in general, but news consumption specifically.
Yes.
And Pew has some new research on this front that shows a sizable chunk of the American public is now getting their news from YouTube in particular, if we can throw that data back up on the screen. And a majority, it's a relatively small group, so about a quarter of adults get news from YouTube. It's a relatively small group that says it's the most important way that they get their news. We love all those people, by the way.
Yeah, those are all risers.
But a pretty sizable majority says that it is an important way. It's significant to their news consumption versus relatively small 20-some% that say it's not an important way of getting news. And look, if you look at the demographics, cable news is dying. I mean, it's like a bastion of like 90s and 2000s energy.
That's it.
It's all older people by and large who watch cable news. And, you know, as people continue to age and age out of that key demo, yes, Trump has kind of rescued cable news in this era because, like, he's just so salacious and he's such a ratings generator and he creates a new outrage, a new scandal, and a new storyline every day. But the long-term trends for cable news are, I think, very bad for them and very good for us.
Yeah, no,
actually.
I think it's great for us, number one. But that I think the reason we wanted to highlight that is where the Rogan power comes from. That is where, I mean, he basically invented the demographic and the entire space.
Yeah.
That is actually where the rising power, and for so many of you, I know, you know, we're all around the same age. That's what it is. As that continues to grow, you're only going to see that number of people who view it as a way to get news grow, and you're going to see it become a primary method of consumption. Because we don't like cable. People like to watch the show whenever they want to watch the show. I mean, it's a morning show, but a lot of people watch it at night. And that's fine. Who cares?
Well, not only that, but cable's so stupid and vapid and predictable. I mean, it just is. It's the same conversation over and over and over again, every single hour. You know before you even turn it on what people are going to say, you know who the villain is, you know the general arc of the storyline. It's just not interesting. It's within this very narrow bounds of conversation that you're allowed to have. There are only certain viewpoints that are allowed to be at the table. And so it presents this really, I mean, it's actually a very destructive force in American politics, which is something we talked about before, that it's essentially, rather than, you know, the old villains of the past, now the new villain, Matt Taibbi's thesis here, is each other, right? So it's all about cheerleading for your team. The flip side of the story is always that side is bad, this side is good, every day, all day long, and I think people are just getting tired of it, frankly.